Hey guys, this is part 2. It's a continuation of my video last week that was all about QuickBooks Ledger. And that is a newer version of QuickBooks Online where you pay only $10 a month and it's really good for tiny clients. So I'm kind of doing like a little mini series on tiny clients because I know that's something that a lot of you guys deal with. Like, how do you help those business owners that want to hire you? They need a bookkeeper, they need a little help with their finances, but they can't afford to pay you like $100 to $300 every month because it's just not in their budget. So someone left this comment on my video about tiny clients, and it was a really good example of how they set up their business, their bookkeeping business, to take on those tiny clients. And the text is kind of long, so I'm just gonna pull out the pertinent information and chat a little bit about it. And I am assuming this is a female who wrote this, I'm not actually sure. But the first thing she says is that she got into bookkeeping because she really wants to help business owners. And I love this so much, and I am actually the same way. And I actually might have gotten a little jaded over time, but in general, if you talk to that person, if you sit down and talk to a business owner, a lot of times they're kind of stressed, they feel overwhelmed. They're likely very passionate about their small business and the reason that they started it, but they don't always care about the finances and they don't want to spend all this time learning QuickBooks and learning a new program. So I love that she is really passionate about being helpful and coming alongside business owners. All right, and then she says she does not charge her full rate for any business that makes under $50K a year. And what I like about this is she has a specific threshold, a specific dollar amount that she's thought about ahead of time. And that's good for a couple reasons. Because one, it's clear in her mind that, you know, this is my limit. It's my standard that makes sense to me, like anything under $50K. And then two, it's really easy to communicate with people. So you can do like a review of their books and be like, how much do you make in revenue? So then maybe you qualify for my tiny client plan. And we treat you a little bit differently than we would our monthly clients. And she says one of her policies is to never turn anyone down, and that's amazing. I'm not saying that you have to do that with your business. I would turn people down personally, but I genuinely love that if that is one of your whys that you got into it, that you don't want to turn people down. That's amazing. Then she goes on to talk about her smallest client. So her smallest client, she charges $50 a month. I don't know if she has multiple of these $50 a month clients or not, but how she treats this is she taught the client, or maybe someone in their office, to go in and categorize all the transactions. So they're doing probably the most time-intensive work. They're getting those questions answered. They're kind of in the day-to-day nitty-gritty. And then what this bookkeeper does is she goes in once a month, she checks over everything, makes sure it looks good, and then she uses the bank statement to reconcile it. Oh yeah, and she also mentions they only have one bank account. That is another key. More bank accounts are automatically going to take you more time because you need to get more statements, reconcile different accounts. So if you're doing this $50 a month model, one bank account would be amazing. And honestly, as a fairly experienced bookkeeper, if someone else is categorizing and you're going in and reconciling, that is going to take you a really, really short amount of time. If there are no issues, I think you could do this in 10 minutes. So you're doing 10 minutes of work and getting paid $50 an hour. That's amazing. And I'm not sure if anyone watching actually thinks that price might be too expensive. I doubt it if you're a bookkeeper, but a caveat to charging $50 a month and it taking maybe 10 minutes is that some months it will probably take more if there is an issue. Also, I'm going to talk about she has a meeting with them and you might be doing some other like year-end closing things. So there's probably going to be more certain months that take you longer. But I'm saying if you're just doing the quick monthly job just to send the profit and loss, I think you can do that really, really fast. And speaking of that, she says she has a quarterly meeting with this client for 30 minutes. So again, you're gonna have 4 of those meetings a year. That's 2 hours. So that's really not that much of your time. And then she actually does say that she has a number of clients that she does this with, and they are all under $100 per month. So I think with all those like lower paying clients, she meets with them quarterly, which I think is a really great cadence. Then I wanted to show you guys this other comment on that same video about tiny clients. I'll link any videos I have about different size clients. I have one that came out about large clients and pros and cons of really big clients. And I have one that breaks down like what I consider small, medium, and large, and then kind of like the dollar amounts and the time it takes for each one. That video is a little older. I'll go find that for you and link it in the description box. And then the video I keep referring to that's more recent is called How to Work with Tiny Clients. And if you don't know me, check out my website. It's FinePoints.biz. My name's Morgan, and I have a bunch of stuff in my description box if you're looking for a checklist on how to start a bookkeeping business, if you want more support on marketing and finding clients. And obviously my whole YouTube channel is about that. So stick around, subscribe, and give this video a thumbs up. All right, and let's go on to this next comment. Okay, and this may or may not be obvious to you, but this person was saying how they have a mix of large and small clients. And I do think this is the most realistic way to be a bookkeeper. This is how I have been in the past. I mean, you could market yourself just to one type of client, like the tiny client, but probably you're gonna find good clients that are different sizes. And that is my number one priority, is just having someone that I enjoy working with. They are not annoying, and basically that we have a good working relationship. So this person actually says that she has, some ongoing monthly clients, and then at the end of the year, she has a few little tiny clients, and she thinks those as like a bonus income. So that's kind of like a fun way to think about it. If you're like, oh yeah, this person hires me every December for like a 5-hour job. Sweet, I just made a little more money, and I really helped out that person. And then I have 4 more things I really like about working with small clients. So number 1 is personalized expense categories. And of course you can do this with anything, but sometimes the small businesses are more like fun, right? So one of my first clients was a tiny solopreneur, and she sold jewelry on Etsy. And so for her, I would track cost of goods sold, because she would buy all this material and then make it into earrings and stuff and sell it. So if she wanted to track fun little things, like maybe she had bits and bobs or earring backs or metal molds, or you can kind of make it fun and just really infuse that person's personality in there. Number 2, you can really come alongside the small business owner and educate them about what is a business expense and what is not. So I've definitely had to have conversations with people about, this is not a business meal. If you just grab yourself Starbucks and then go to the office, that does not count as a business expense. You have to be meeting with a client. Another client really wanted to deduct like her business clothing, and it wasn't something that was recognized by the IRS as like a uniform or something. Like you can't just buy like, oh, I'm a florist, I'm gonna buy a flowered shirt to wear to my weddings. Like that is not deductible. And on the flip side, you can educate them about helpful things. So how are they gonna deduct their home office? Like, is that worth it? Or let's set up a system to track your mileage, because you are traveling for work to these jobs all the time. Like, how can we make it easy for you to track your mileage? Number 3, you kind of can become a financial therapist. And of course, I'm using that term in fun. It's not like a clinical setting. We're not giving like life or death advice here, but you can be a listening ear to that person. Oftentimes a business owner has a lot of stressors, or many times all of their processes aren't worked out. So I love coming alongside a business owner and helping them like fine tune a process. Like, how are we going to bill those clients? Like, what's the best way to collect money here? How can we make bill pay even easier? Oh, let's do it through the bank, and then we don't have to, write all these paper checks all the time and wait for them to be cashed. Or maybe they are stressed and anxious that their revenue has gone down this year. And, it might be your place just to listen and be there for that person. Or it might be that you're able to take a close look at the books and see like, what were we doing last year that was working better? Like, where are the deficits this year? And I have a video about advisory services you can check out. And in that, I think I have a few, like 5 or so ways to like dig into different reports and what to look for if you're trying to come to your client with, a solution to a problem like that. Number 4 is surprise success stories, lots of S's. But this is super fun. I had a small business owner that when she hired me, I think she only had like 2 employees. And then by the time I left a few years later, she had like 10 employees, and she was opening a new medical practice. And that is really fun to see it when a small business succeeds like that. You can really celebrate the wins with those people. So I think I told you in a recent video, I used to work at the Target headquarters, and that was a good job. But if Target was up in their sales for the quarter, like, I had to care because it was my job. But did I really feel it in my heart? No. But when this girl who's sitting next to me is like, her business is rocking it, I'm like, that's amazing. That feels so good. So those are really some of the things that I love about working with tiny clients. Let me know in the comments if you have any others.